Alright, today we're going to cover some desk exercises. These are things you can do at your desk while you're at work. Some of the stuff you can do while you're working. The first one's going to be arm circles. And the best way to get set up for arm circles is extend the arms straight out from your sides and keep the hands and the wrists about shoulder height. What you do is called a golf grip, where you have your thumbs pointed forward. You're going to pull back as far as you can between the shoulder blades. You should feel some work in the middle of the back, right at the spine. We don't want the wrist lower than the shoulders or higher than the shoulders. We want it even. What you're going to do is pull behind you as far as you can. Just do small circles forward. As I'm rotating forward, I'm not losing that contraction in my back muscles. I'm keeping my wrist behind me as far as I can as I make small circles. And we want to do these for about 30 seconds. Just keep rotating forward. These muscles in the back, from the mid to upper back all the way up through the bottom of your neck, your trap muscles, typically are tight for a couple different reasons that I'll show you in a moment. We want to do this for about 30 seconds forward, moving in this direction. Then we'll pause. When we pause, we turn the thumbs back. You'll be able to pull back even further when you point the thumbs back, and then just rotate up and back. Okay, another 30 seconds in this direction. I'm just going to guesstimate because I'm not actually timing what we're doing. Again, we don't want the wrist low. We don't want the elbows bent. We want them straight out the whole time. As you're rotating back, we want them shoulder height, not higher than the shoulders and not lower. Go ahead and keep moving. We'll do a guesstimate of about another 10 seconds. Call it 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Our hope for that exercise is that it stretches out the chest muscles, because we're typically sitting at a desk all day for about anywhere from 8 to 14 hours, and in the car, rounded out in the back. These muscles are overstretched from here to here. These muscles tend to get tight and to pull you forward. So open up the chest cavity for better oxygen exchange. It's better for the muscles in general, and loosen up these muscles in the back more. It also affects your lower back. Okay, that's the first exercise for the day. The next one, which is one of my clients' favorite, before we get down to business, we do our workouts, is called cats and dogs. The way to get set up is to get the knee directly underneath the hip and the wrist directly underneath the shoulder. We'll show you two versions of this. We got our standing version, we got our kneeling version, if you can do this in your cubicle. But you're going to press your stomach up, driving the navel through the spine, dropping the chin towards the chest. Then we're going to press the stomach and navel down, open the chin all the way up. And if you can do this, you'll push your shoulders away from your ears, towards your hips. And we're going to press straight up and down, if you can remember to do that. The most important thing for this exercise is that you go through a full range of motion, dropping the chin when the stomach and the back come up, opening the chin when the chest and the stomach go down. We're just going back and forth at a slow, even pace, trying to get a full range of motion in each direction. If you have a tight back, you may feel stretching in your back. If your abs are a little tight, you feel some stretching in your abs. We're just going back and forth. We want to do this for about a minute. Just getting the muscles warmed up. The back typically doesn't get the chance to go through a full range of motion like this. We'll set it to 7 seconds. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, our next one is called a hip flexor stretch. A hip flexor stretch is because typically we're sitting a lot throughout the course of the day. Like I said, a lot of us are half an hour to an hour commuting to work. Then we sit at work all day long. So we're in the car like this. We're sitting all day like this. Not only are we rounded up top, we got these muscles in a contracted position all day, and the glute muscles in the back of the legs are in a stretch position. So in order to balance that out, so we don't have that tightness, that possible imbalance and weakness, we're going to stretch the hip out. Two ways to do this. Well, first let me show you guys the standing version of the cat and dog we just did a moment ago. For those of you who may be at a dress or can't get on the floor to do the cats and dogs that we just did a moment ago, you can do this standing. It's like you're clucking like a chicken. Okay? Just back and forth. Once I squat down into it with my feet about hip width apart, once I squat down into it, I want my hips back, and I'm just arching my back, opening my chin up, taking my chin towards my chest, and rounding it out back and forth. Okay, so that's your standing version for the cats and dogs we just did a moment ago. Now we're going to go to a kneeling version on the floor for the hip flexor stretch. I start off with my knee directly on the top of my ankle, and I take a step forward about 6 more inches, and I shift into it. One of the most important things with this exercise is to keep your body upright. Don't lean forward. By leaning forward, you're now decreasing this angle, which takes away the stretch we're trying to create. Keep that hip open, the shoulder blades back, the body upright, stay square. Body's like a building, so just shift it forward, feel a stretch here, and hold it. And if you think to do this, you're going to squeeze the glute, contract the glute on this left leg, you feel a stretch more. If you want even more, you can lift up and add it even more to it. You can lean to the side and hold it. This is what it will do for about 30 seconds on each side. You should feel a pull right here, somewhere between the knee and the hip on this left side. Okay. Same thing on the other side. We'll switch legs. I'll start off with my ankle directly underneath my knee. Get my 6-inch spread. Shift into it. Keep the upper body upright and not lean forward. Right arm up if you want to add something to it. And lean to the side, contracting that right glute. Squeeze the glute on the right side. You feel a stretch even more on the right. And we'll hold this for about 30 seconds. Don't want to lean my weight into my leg, so put your hand on your hip. Keep the weight off of, keep yourself from leaning forward. Just hold this for another 10 seconds. Say 3, 2, and 1. Now for this next one, same exercise. If you're standing and kneeling is not an option for whatever reason in your cubicle, you'll just step out. The back heel comes off the ground. I'm going to shift through the front knee, still keeping my body upright, and I'll get my stretch here. Keep this knee straight. This knee should not be bent. It should be straight back. And then you drop down into it, almost 90 degrees at this knee if you can get it, and you'll feel a stretch on that back leg. Keep your heels off the ground. We go 30 seconds on that leg. We'll also do 30 seconds on the other one as well. If balance is an issue for you, you have to find yourself falling from left to right, it's probably because your stance is too narrow. You don't want to be like you're on a balance beam trying to do this. It's not the goal. The goal of this exercise is not balance. Widen your feet, and when you step forward, keep that gap between the knees. Don't take that gap away because you have a problem balancing. And then drop down through it after you get yourself out there far enough into the hip flexor stretch. Alright. Another exercise you can do at your desk is a plank or in your cubicle. Plank's real easy. It's almost like doing a push-up. Very similar to the cat and dog body position we did earlier. Just going to extend your legs straight behind you. And just hold it for about 30 seconds. This strengthens your abdominals. You're going to collapse down to the shoulder blades. You don't want to be rounded out. So collapse down to your shoulder blades. Strengthens the abdominals. You can fire up your glutes, squeeze your glutes. Draw your navel in a little bit. Pull it up towards the spine. You feel your abdominals contract. And your lower back muscles can help you stabilize this as well. It's working all your core muscles that are pretty slack and out of whack during the course of the day. You hold this for anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. If being on your toes is too much, do the same thing on your knees. Okay? On my knees, I still have a straight line that goes down the side of my body. It's the most important thing. We don't want the body shifted back. On a straight line from my shoulder, from my hip, all the way down to my knee. And this gives me a basic version of the same exercise. If being on the floor is not an option, you got your chair. And this is actually also easier. Got your hands up on the chair, body is flat. Again, collapsing down through the shoulder blades. And from there, we're just going to hold it. Okay. 2 other exercises that would be good to do while you're in your cubicle. One for the upper body and one for legs. Let's go down the legs right now. What we're going to do is called a wall sit. Do anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute. Now with the wall sit, you want to make sure you get your feet out in front of you far enough so that your knees are over the top of your ankles. Okay? You don't want your foot back and too much of an angle behind your knee because there's too much stress on the knees. You want a 90-degree angle, like you're sitting in a chair. Your palms are up. You're not pushing with your hands. All the pressure's in the heel. By keeping the pressure in the heel, again, you'll keep more of the strain in the thigh muscles, which is where we want them. You want your head back, chin straight forward. Yes, this is going to burn. You'll feel this work, but it's going to help you burn more calories for an extended period of time after you're done doing these exercises. You can break them up. You find yourself sweating or something and it's getting to be too much for you. You can take a rest break in between each of these and spread it out a little bit more so you're not sweating. You typically want to hold this for about a minute. Yes, your legs will burn during the course of that minute. Okay? So after you come up from there, last one I want to show you guys is one you guys already know. It's the push-up. We got 2 different types of push-ups I'll show you guys. Actually, I'll show you 3. So the basic version is on the knees. It's kind of like that plank we did earlier. The difference is our hands are wider, so that the focus is on the chest and not on the triceps. You keep the body nice and straight as you lower and press up. So up and down. Okay. Intermediate version I like to call on the toes. This is the standard push-up that we're used to. An advanced version, if you need more, lift your foot out to the side, out to the right, and out to the left, back and forth. You do that same thing on your chair or on your desk. So we'll imagine this couch is a desk. My hands are wide, and the wider I get my hands, the more it's going to be of a chest focus, and the higher up I am off the floor with this angle, the easier it's going to be. So you can actually put your hands on your desk and do push-ups from there. That's probably maybe 5 minutes worth of work to help you burn more calories and help correct a lot of the issues that you may have throughout the course of the day from sitting a lot and not exercising. I hope this helps. Comment it below. Give us a call if you want a free consultation. Thanks for your time.